You know, I made that video about how important it was to get rid of your discard pile ASAP. You know what I haven't been doing? Taking my own advice. Hey guys, and welcome to this video where I finally get around to putting items that I discarded ages ago on places like eBay, Depop, Gumtree, things like that. Now these items have come from when I've been decluttering over Vader, and some from even before that, I'm embarrassed to say. And they've all been carefully stored in drawers underneath my bed. So let me show you what those drawers look like. Okay, this is quite clearly a drawer of clothes. However, this drawer of clothes was first put together out of my discard pile when Kate and I KonMari'd my clothes back in January. And it's just stayed like this because it's been out of sight. And if you remember, I split them off into two sections, where one section was for eBay and the other section was for Depop. I now can't remember which section is which, so I'm gonna have to try and remind myself. But essentially what I'm gonna do is just take all the clothes out from one section, photograph them all, and put them straight onto whatever platform I was originally intending to put them on. This is kind of embarrassing, but let's do it. Okay, I've worked out which section is which. I've just gotten all the clothes out for my eBay section. I'm gonna take pictures of them all hung up on the back of my door here. This is why I put this off, because this process is long. I'm gonna use my little Canon G7X to take pictures. It's probably the nicest cycling jersey I've ever bought. It's just unfortunately a bit too small for me, so it's gonna have to go. So the items that I've just taken pictures of are the items that look best when they're hung up, and now I've got items like this, little beanies and things like that, and these photograph best I think when they're sort of laying down flat on something, so I'm going to take pictures of these on my bed. Okay, so I've now taken all the pictures that I need for the items that I'm putting on eBay, and now I just need to go do the second instalment of all of this, which is actually putting them on eBay and writing up the descriptions and everything about them and setting the price. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have used eBay in the past, but for any of you that haven't sold anything on eBay before, the best tip that I could give you is just to make sure that you take pictures of the items in really good light. Also, make sure to take lots of close-up pictures, particularly of any damage or marks that might be on the items. And I like to also take close-up pictures of, if it's an item of clothing, the label that says the size of the clothing, and also any instances of where the brand name appears. And that's it really. I guess my last tip would probably be, if you can be bothered, maybe iron some of the clothes. I haven't done that today, and that might affect whether these items sell or not. If you guys have any tips that I haven't mentioned that you think are really key to selling your items online, then leave a comment down below. Okay, let's go post these on eBay. Okay, so I've finally put all of those items up on eBay, and I've actually decided to save them as drafts until later on this evening. Currently it's in the middle of the afternoon. To give myself the best chance of these items selling, the auctions should finish in the evening, so I'm going to wait until this evening in order to make them live. Yeah, that seems like a sensible thing to do. And I'm not going to lie, I think this is the part of the process that I dislike the most. The taking pictures actually isn't that bad, but it's the writing up the post and describing every item and trying to price it correctly as well. I just for some reason find this whole process really tedious, but it's done now and that's all that matters, and actually I'm quite proud of myself for just bothering to do it. I've been procrastinating for far too long, so yeah, I'm actually quite glad that it's done now. So now what I've got to do is take pictures of all the items that I'm going to put on Depop and then post them all up on Depop. Now before I subject you to yet another montage of me taking photographs of clothes on the back of my door, I promise the next one will be really short. I just wanted to quickly mention a couple of differences between eBay and Depop that I've noticed. Originally, when Kate suggested that I sell some of my clothes on Depop, she mentioned to me that On that app, people tended to take pictures of themselves wearing the clothes, just so that people can see what those clothes look like on an actual body instead of just on a hanger. Whereas on eBay, actually, that doesn't seem to be as much the case. And then secondly, actually in our KonMari video, I don't think Kate and I explained how we decided that one bunch of clothing would be more appropriate for eBay and the other bunch would be better for Depop. And essentially what we kind of figured out is that Depop was for more quirky, I guess, clothing. Quirky's not quite the right word, but if you take a look on there, you'll sort of see what I mean. For example, stuff like this little gilet. We thought that this would be better for Depop, whereas eBay is more for more mainstream brands and more sort of generic clothing. In fact, eBay I think is just for everything. So yeah, just as a tip, if you're thinking of selling some clothes, then maybe see what other people are selling on that platform and then decide if the items that you're selling would suit that platform or another. Okay, now it's time for the montage of the back of the door. So I was just about to start posting my items to Depop when I just had a quick Google for how to do it. And the first thing actually is that you can only seem to be able to upload from a mobile device. So, you know, I took all my photos on this little camera. I'm now gonna have to send those to myself, which is fine. This camera is way better than the camera on my phone, so I'd much prefer to use this. The second thing is that Depop actually have a set of instructions for how to take good photos of the items you want to sell. I'll link that down below in the description. That's definitely worth a read. And the third thing is that whilst I was Googling a bit about how to sell items on Depop, they actually advise that you use Depop as a proper social media platform. So with that in mind, they actually recommend that you only upload something like 2 items a day as opposed to uploading everything, because it means that it won't appear in people's feeds as regularly. That is, you know, a massive difference to eBay, and it's definitely something that requires more upkeep. However, today I'm definitely feeling fatigue. This part is definitely the bit of decluttering that I dislike the most. I don't know what it is about this part of the process. I just become so impatient with it. I see the benefits of it for sure. You know, the combination of getting rid of an item of clothing, rehoming it to someone else who will hopefully love it, and making just a little bit of money. All of that seems so enticing, and yet I just have no patience, it seems, for all the work that I need to do in order to get to that end point. This part just seems to be the hardest for me, and that's even in comparison to when I'm trying to detach myself emotionally from things that I'm really emotionally connected to. But nevertheless, I am still really proud of myself that I finally managed to get around to doing it. I invite you guys to write in the comments, what part of minimalism and decluttering do you dislike the most? And all that's left to say, as always, is thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you on Friday with a new video. Okay, bye.